Now, neurons are connected, and they talk to one another. And it used to be thought they were tied to one another, like a computer. Like you take wires and you connect wires to each other. You wrap them around and connect them. It turns out this isn't the case. It turns out that neurons relate to one another chemically in a kind of interesting way. Between any neurons, between the axon of one neuron and the dendrite of another, there's a tiny gap. The gap could be about 1/10,000th of a millimeter wide. This infinitesimal gap. And this gap is known as a synapse. And what happens is, when a neuron fires, an axon sends chemicals shooting through the gap. These chemicals are known as neurotransmitters, and they affect the dendrites. So neurons communicate to one another chemically. Again, the chemicals could excite the other neuron, excitatory, bring up the chances it will fire, or inhibit the other neuron, inhibitory. Now, neurotransmitters become interesting because a lot of psychopharmacology, both of the medical sort and the recreational sort, consists of fiddling with neurotransmitters. And so you could see this through some examples. There are two sorts of ways you could fiddle with neurotransmitters, and correspondingly, two sorts of drugs. There are agonists, and what an agonist does is increases the effect of neurotransmitters, either by making more neurotransmitters, or stopping the cleanup of neurotransmitters, or in some cases by faking a neurotransmitter, by mimicking its effects. Then there are antagonists that slow down the amount of neurotransmitters, either because they destroy neurotransmitters, or they make it hard to create more, or in some cases they go to the dendrite of the neuron and they kind of put a paste over it so that the neurotransmitters can't connect. And it's through these clever ways that neurons can affect your mental life.